What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. If you have been struggling to make minimal tech house drums, then this is the perfect video for you. I'm going to show you the exact techniques I use in my own productions, which have helped me get signed to labels such as Short Circuits, Issues, and Cuff. And these exact techniques have worked with over 100 producers that I've worked with on a one-on-one basis. So the drums we're going to end up with are going to sound a bit like this. So let's jump into Ableton. Okay, so we're inside Ableton now, and in today's session, we're going to be building out the drums for this one. As mentioned in the intro, we're going to be focusing on the take notes, row minimal style of drums. So very clean and very simple and stripped back drums. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a clap in there, and I have all of these drum racks pre-set up, which are super useful because it makes it nice and easy to speed up my workflow. And the claps I'm going to reach for are these ones here, which are very short. You'll notice that all of the take notes, any kind of row minimal stuff, the darker, deeper, glitchier, minimal tech, most of the time the claps are very, very short. And that allows a lot of space for the other elements, because if you've been following along this series, you know we have a really full glitch percussion loop, which sounds a bit like this. So having a short clap just means there's plenty of space for all of those other elements. Let me play it now with the clap in. You can already see that it fits the vibe really well. Let's just try some other claps though, see if anything fits the vibe a bit better. So quite like that one, maybe try layering it. And I like this one that we've layered it with to add some groove into there. So I'm going to do this on a separate channel because it makes it much easier to arrange. So you have your main clap on one channel and then you have your groove clap on another. And for those that aren't aware what I mean by a groove clap, it's going to be stuff on the off beats and the swing notes. So it's effectively going to work like a snare. You'll notice if you listen to a lot of this style, like snare grooves, snare fills, it's not often used that much. It's very just short and snappy claps, just infrequently in the groove like this. So I might try something like this, turn down the velocity. And then I'm going to loop this, and then I'm going to consolidate, and I'm just going to add maybe like another one in over on the end. So I'm already liking that. And another thing I'm going to add is a variation clap. So this is something I just like to do within my own tracks. You don't have to do it in every single track. But what you're just going to do is you're going to find a clap which just stands out from your main clap. And it helps add a bit more of a kind of bounce and variation to your clap. So let me just show you exactly what it sounds like. What you're listening for is the clap to sound the same, but ever so slightly different. Okay. You can tell that one on the 1.4 that we're looking at now has this kind of splat. And when you get it sitting right in the mix, it just adds a very, very subtle variation to a clap, which is, you know, probably one of the most boring parts of any house track. It doesn't really do a lot than just play every other beat. And I just love this technique for minimal music because that's what the sound's all about, right? These tiny things that no one really notices unless you're like really into the genre. So now I'm going to add in a clap for modulation just to get a bit of variety in there. And I'm going to have this happen every 8 bars. So I'm just going to get a different clap so we don't get any phasing issues. And for this one, I'm going to grab a tape delay. So to do that, you just get a normal delay, turn the sync off, and put it to about 30 milliseconds. Cool effect. And then I like to put it on a ping pong. Really nice. And then to take it one step further, I like to add a bit of automation in. I'm just going to push it down just like this. Highlight that 8 bars. And then on this one, I'm going to take it the opposite way. So in the groove, it sounds like this. and then the second one. Subtle, but it really works. Helps with that modular, glitchy vibe that we're trying to go for in this track. So let's move down to our hi-hat. So the first hi-hat I'm going to lay in is just a dead simple closed hi-hat on the offbeat. So I like that one. It's got a bit more weight to it, bit of a slightly different tone. And I'm going to duplicate this channel, and I'm going to get a two-step pattern in. So that's just one on the beat and one off the beat. And change out the hi-hat so we don't get any phasing issues. That one works surprisingly well. And what I do for my hi-hats is I just keep on duplicating the same drum rack, adding in different hi-hats for variation, some adding groove, some adding a bit of randomness, some emphasizing our main offbeat hi-hat to either pick up the energy or maybe slow it down slightly. So for this one, I'm going to put in some notes for some groove. So that works, but I definitely need some swing. So I'm just going to apply my groove there. Too much, so I'm going to dial back the timing. And what I do with swing is I just don't overthink it nowadays. I just trust my ear. Sometimes I'll adjust it manually. Sometimes I'll use a swing preset like that. And I find the nature of having some things swung and some things not that swung just adds to that human characteristics to the track. Doesn't make it feel too, precise and rigid every single time. So I'm going to loop this one, quantize, add in an extra note. And you guessed it, I'm just going to duplicate this, go down again, add in some more hi-hats. So I'm liking that. And now I'm just going to find some more hi-hats to land on that offbeat to help pick up the energy. So you can just tell how one hi-hat can completely change the vibe and the energy of the groove. So with it off, with it on. And all that's causing that is one, a slight increase in volume on that offbeat hi-hat, perceiving more energy, and two, the tonality and the frequency spectrum of that individual hi-hat that we've chosen. For example, if we just change it one up, you're only getting the increase in volume, so you don't really feel or notice that increase in energy that much. Compared to this one, instantly you can notice the perceived energy within the track. And I see if we can maybe get one more in here before we start looking at open hi-hats, any top loops. And recently what I've been liking is just a bit of reverb on one of the hi-hats. At the moment, I just use the send and return. When I get in the mix down and, fine tune everything, I'll actually set it up on the channel so I can get that reverb to sidechain and get out the way of some of the other elements in the groove. But it just helps add a bit of ambience to the hi-hats, gives it a bit more space in the mix. Okay, so now I'm going to add in a couple open hi-hats. Typically, I like to have 2 in my tracks. There's no right or wrong though. You could always have more or less, doesn't particularly matter. My logic for having 2 is you have one with a bit more weight and body, like that, and then one a bit more thin, like that. So like that one, I just think it needs pitching down. And there's a couple nice hi-hats in here, which I'm just going to add in for those random ones, just to play off maybe every 4 bars, every 8 bars. So like that, and I'm just going to copy this one over to there instead. Do the same over here. And then see if I can maybe get a different one around here. So I'm happy with that for my open hi-hats. So maybe we can try some drum percussion. I class drum percussions as claves, shakers, rim shots, toms, bongos, anything along those kind of lines. And you guessed it, I have a bunch of drum racks set up for this. I'm going to keep it simple like that. And then maybe on the end here, I can put a little rim shot roll in, shorten this, and get a little 32 note one in. See if I've got anything in this one. Nice little basic shaker pattern there. And that's going to do me for my drum percussion. So there's two last things I always like to do with my drums. One is just get a couple top loops to help fill out the drums, add a bit more weight to them, maybe improve the groove slightly. And the second one is a couple call kits. I just like the classic sounds from either the 808, 606, even 909s, and just putting them in the grooves, whether it's fills or even layers to existing elements we've already got. So for the tops, I'm going to go to my own pack, the Serotonin Sounds one. I like that one with the more shakers in it. Helps just increase that kind of vibe we're going for. I like that hat loop, so I'm just going to put those in. I tend not to use too many loops because, as you can see, I go quite hard with the drum racks and the MIDI for all my layering, so I don't need to rely on top loops. But what you will notice when we do a before and after now, these top loops will make a difference to the groove, and that's why I always include them. So with no top loops, with top loops, you can just tell it bounces off a groove we've already got, helps fill out a bit of the empty space that is missing, without us then having to keep on layering different hi-hats and MIDI and just speed up our workflow at the end of the day. Okay, and then the last things I'm going to add are a 606 call kit and a 808 call kit. And that's all I'm going to do for the call kits. I'm just going to keep it dead simple, just like that. So in a short amount of time, you can see we've got a really complex and full sounding drum groove, which sounds a bit like this. And then with our glitches that we made in the last session, and then with our textural perks that we made in the very first session. So there you go, that is the end of that video. I hope you found that one useful. If you're new to this Track from Scratch series, then go over here or here to start watching part 1 and part 2. And obviously make sure to subscribe so you can stay tuned for part 4, where we start working on bass lines and synths. So I'll catch you in that video.